I was creating self-sabotaging behaviors to replicate the feeling that I used to have that was gone. So, I mean, there's, like you said, there's phases. So from childhood to teens, going homeless, dropping out of high school, just saying, oh my gosh, like it just doesn't end. It's just over and over again. But this is what changed for me when I had a guy come to me. He's like, I make 15 bucks an hour. And I told him, what would it do for you if I showed you how to do 30, 40 bucks an hour? It changed my life, he said. What did I do? Here's my process. This is the program, but I need you to listen. I need you to execute, and you'll do it. And he's one of my top painters right now.
I want to ask you, and this will kind of like bring it to like a close here. How do you kill off a bad mindset? How do you kill it off? Joel, I'm glad you're here.
Thank you.
Hey, he's a savage. Joel, so let's talk about it. Why did we choose mindset? Now I'm going to let you rip, but why mindset? Why does that change everything?
You know, Andy, I chose mindset because it's the thing that changed everything for me. So the one thing that I see every single time that someone comes up to me about business, relationships, anything, they're looking for like a secret sauce on the business side of it.
That's right.
And I go, what's you? When you change you, everything follows. And then everyone follows with it as well. So the one thing I always talk about is imagery. Right? When you start to imagine, you start to think big, dream big, you do big things, right?
Yeah.
And the biggest thing is with the imagery, a lot of things people don't see this, but you can actually reverse some what we call programming, right? Some past programming.
Yeah.
You can get rid of it by saying, hey, I'm giving grace to myself. I see this path, how I'm going to get there, what I'm going to do, right? And we always talk about begin with the end in mind. So if you don't know where to start from, right, I always like to look at the beginning and at the end in mind. The end is where I start from and work backwards.
Yeah, because, I mean, and by the way, I'm not going to cut him off here, but he's saying that, you know, you got to have a dream because you got to have something that fuels you the whole time, right?
100%.
In imagery, right, that's why we're going to do all this, why we're going to go through the grind, what we want to accomplish, right, what will fulfill us, but then also like who we see ourselves as, right? Yeah. Like imagery, like future imagery,
Absolutely.
Right?
So when you think about it, like you heard the term fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
Right? And I believe in you're stepping into who you want to be, who you're going to become. So that's the imagery work we're talking about, right? So when you can see yourself as that guy, right? For men that are looking at wanting to gain 10 pounds of muscle, you're seeing it. So what does it do? It makes you take action. It makes you go, okay, what do I need to do? What are the steps? What am I going to make that happen so I can fall into that person that I'm going to become? And I think a lot of people try to think too much. They're like, oh, well, I'll wait till like a Monday, or I'll wait till this, or I'll wait till that. Yeah. They're overthinking it. It's like, hey, just take a step. And one thing I always say, I say this all the time, it's like one of my favorite quotes. If you strive to be 1% better each day, at the end of 100 days, you're 100% better than when you first started. I truly believe that. And, you know, you say you're a psycho competitor, right? It is priceless. And you're a psycho competitor, right? Well, what do? You go all in, right? A lot of people aren't like that. So they have to start in the beginning with one thing.
What does going all in mean? Like when I say like empty the tank, right? Like there's a lot of people have never given everything they have, right? Yeah. So on this imagery deal, right? You got a dream, you envision, you said like future truth, right? Like who do you want to be? Like even though it's not today, you're like stepping into who you want to be, which is in the future. But you almost lie to yourself that you are that person today. And then in soon time, you're not lying anymore because you're that person, right?
Yeah.
You know, and most of the time you don't even really see the transition. It just, the journey takes you right into it, right?
Yep.
What are some steps and some things that you do on imagery with goals yourself? You said the guy that wanted to gain 10 pounds. Do you think it's important to like, you know, have a vision of like someone who's 10 pounds more muscular than you, or that has a bigger business, or, you know, whatever? Like, do you think that like visionary, like that they should have a vision board or something like that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Not just seeing it here though, because it's all about mindset, but like if it's really something that's real, like you kind of got to put it out there a little bit, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you got to map it out, right? And how do you get a map?
How do you do some of that so we can give them some like application things if somebody wants to figure out?
You know, the biggest thing is like, this is why I'm here, right? I seek you as like a leader, right? So it's like, hey, I want to do what Andy's doing, right?
Yeah.
So that's why we're here.
Yes.
And, you know, I believe I'm a great leader myself because I've made a lot of changes in my life.
Yeah.
So one of my mentors taught me a lot of things. Pain drives change, right?
That's right.
He also said, hey, we have to map out success.
Hey, write that down. Pain drives change. Okay. I mean, so I don't want anybody to miss that, because some of you guys have pain, and like pain teaches you,
Absolutely.
right? It's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's going back to that imagery you were speaking about,
Yeah.
right? Because that pain says, I don't want to go back there. And then when you say, hey, I want to turn into this person and look like this person, well, what does that look like, right? Because sometimes we play games with our minds that we forget what that image looks like.
Yeah.
So when you can map it out and see it every day, right? When I first started to change everything in my life, I would either have pictures, I would have Post-its, I would write things on the mirror. I was literally intentionally saying, hey, I'm going to reprogram my mind with positivity. You know, there's a term too that I think Jim Quick says, it says ants, automatic negative thoughts. We wake up every morning, we already have negative thoughts. So what are you putting in positively to get rid of those ants, right?
Yeah, what you plug into, everybody, will determine what you're feeding your mind on a daily basis, right?
Yeah, music.
Yeah, because if you want to make a change, right, like you can't keep listening to the same stuff now to make a change, because that would not work.
100%.
So what are some things that you can plug into as you're going through some of these steps here?
Yeah.
You said pictures, Post-it notes. Hey, I'm making a commitment. I'm writing it on my mirror. What are some things that you plugged into, you know, or that people can plug into that like helped reprogram you?
Yeah. So a lot of it was changing my circle, right?
Okay,
Getting the right
so
people.
audit your people around you.
Always.
Okay.
Yeah. Like my circle's so tight. And it's like, I want to be careful in what they're telling me, how they're saying things, or their belief systems.
That's good.
And then without the circle, then after that, it's like you have music, right? What kind of music are you listening to? Are they telling you you're garbage and you're not this, or you should live this lifestyle?
Yeah.
Podcasts, right? I love podcasts. I'm constantly just bringing in new information in my
It's like a book.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's awesome.
I want to ask you something. When he said pain, right? Like pain teaches, they say when the pain overrides the fear of change, like people change. Like a lot of people, they like won't change anything because they're afraid of the change. But when that pain gets so high and you're like, all right, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Yeah.
People just, they change.
Yep.
Right? Like what was your deal? What was your trigger moment?
Man, so
like,
you know,
I'm sure you probably became many different men, many different situations, but let's give us a couple examples of like some stories of like times where you said, all right, I'm done.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it all started with what I would say the mental side of it, right? Because, you know, I grew up with my dad. He's actually mentally ill. He's got paranoid schizophrenia. And I don't share that often unless I'm with a private guest or stuff like that. But the reality is that was programming for me as a child, right? Feeling worthless, not able to do things, not getting someone to say that I'm proud of you, or you're always seeking something that doesn't exist anymore. So as I was growing up, I was learning that when that wasn't there in my life anymore, I was creating self-sabotaging behaviors to replicate the feeling that I used to have that was gone.
Dude, listen, everybody should write that down. Self-sabotage. A lot of people are doing that right now and they don't know they're doing it. They don't mean to do it, but they're just used to that cycle, that pattern.
Yeah.
And dude, it's ugly, it's dangerous, and it hurts a lot of people around you, and it makes you miserable, right?
Yeah.
So that's why we got to recreate the mindset, plug in new information,
Yep.
decide imagery, who do we want to become, what do we want, start to dream again,
Yeah.
right? And then, so there was that situation. Give me some things where you said, all right, I'm done with this.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's, like you said, there's phases. So from childhood to teens, going homeless, dropping out of high school, just saying, oh my gosh, like it just doesn't end. It's just over and over again. At the age of 19, I moved to Arizona.
Okay.
So I'm from Pennsylvania originally. And I started realizing, I was like, I need to make a shift in my life. So I got rid of the environment. So I completely removed myself out of the environment I was in. And then from there, that self-sabotaging was happening. So I was seeking like more professional help to learn other ways to get rid of that self-sabotage.
Yeah.
So then I started learning like NLP and things like that.
Yeah.
And then I found a hypnotherapist actually here in Arizona. And what we did was we started getting rid of the programming of the triggers and traumas. And we started adding new imagery and saying, hey, listen, it's okay. You don't need to hear someone to say sorry. You can forgive yourself and give grace to yourself in order to keep moving forward. So that was interesting to me because I was like
self-healing.
It's completely self-healing.
Yeah. So everybody listen, I know this sounds crazy, right? As he's telling you his story, his life, and he's very successful. A lot of people hear this and they're like, that sounds crazy. If you crack open any successful person, they're crazy. And most people, when they hear something crazy, it's usually a great idea. It's just crazy. And so you have to be open-minded to see that there's a better way. And for you to be able to get rid of that stuff, by the way, you did it for yourself, but then you learned it, and then I bet you've built your team, self-healed yourself many times over again, and been able to do the same thing with other people along the way. And you didn't even tell them that that's where you learned it. But you learned it through doing it yourself.
100%.
Yeah, I always say this, the person that can self-correct is forever wealthy. If you can self-correct, you're the most dangerous son of a bitch in the room. Most people, they don't have an awareness to hey, I need to correct this. This isn't good for me. If I keep doing this, the pattern isn't going to be good. This is going to be self-sabotage. It's like Patrick Bet-David talks about, like your next 5 moves. Like it's like your next 5 things could be really ugly if you don't fix this now. You know, so that's good. So you got a or I can't even say it, but
hypnotherapist.
And you got those people, and then you know, they kind of went through the process of, and you said you got to forgive yourself. You know, we believe in God together. We're both Christians. Forgiving yourself, it sounds very like, okay, that's cute. No, dude, if you don't forgive yourself and give yourself permission to have a big life, you won't have one. And honestly, you'll run around, and instead of turning your wounds into your weapons and helping other people and becoming great and making your life count, you'll actually end up hurting a lot of people.
100%.
If that's what you want, cool. I turn this off. But if you can do this, I mean, I'm just telling you. And I said I wouldn't cuss, but I said the person that can un-F themselves can un-F anyone else. So if I can fix me, I can fix anyone else. And so you're a coach. And one of the reasons why you're a very good coach is because you know how to fix yourself. And that's the key, man. You know, so anyway, so you fixed yourself, you got help. And then so what happens?
So got back into just obsessive mode, but in a good way.
That's good.
Didn't pick up my first book till I was 30. Got into John C. Maxwell, 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership.
Great leader.
Yeah, man. And, you know, I started instilling all these books and all the knowledge into my team. But first I had to start with me, right?
Can I ask something? Because it's for everybody. Isn't that crazy that you said didn't pick up a book till I was 30? It's because we're a little older. We're, you know, like there's so many accessible self-development things now for younger people than they were when we were. I mean, it's cassette tapes, CDs, you know, some books. How much impact did that first book you read make on your life? How much impact did it have on your life?
It shifted my finances, my relationships. It shifted everything.
Isn't that crazy?
It's crazy.
Yes. Dude, I want to tell everybody, readers are leaders, okay? But somebody spent an entire lifetime and wrote it in a book. Imagine this. A guy, John Maxwell, I think is 80 years old now. I'm guessing, you know. If you could learn what took him 80 years to learn in a 2-week book, you'd be a fool not to study the greats. Right? And you said it changed everything. Okay, I just want to say that in case anybody's like, oh, I don't have time. You're going to be giving up 10, 15, even 20 years not trying to give yourself a week or two. And once you do, it spiraled into this journey that you're probably about to tell me about.
Oh, absolutely.
That now you're an addict, right?
Yeah, I mean, at the time I was just like, hey, I just want to be a business owner. I want to be an entrepreneur. And then again, when we go back to my mentor again, he's like, I'll teach you everything you need to know through painting. And I was like, painting? You know, growing up, I was always told, do a white collar industry, be clean shaved, be in a suit and tie, because, you know, these are the way that people are going to view you. And I saw my mentor, he's just in plain clothes. He looked like a surfer dude, and he's a multimillionaire. And I'm like, well, that's not what I was told. That's not what that looks like. And when he's like paintings.
Well, the person that told you that thought that.
Yes.
And then he thought, well, I think millionaires look like surfers.
Yes.
And then I'm like, I think millionaires run around in cut off shirts.
Exactly.
It's like, bro, they're all right.
Yeah.
But you had to find your identity. So you connected with this guy, and you were like, dude, I don't need to be like that. I just need to be great and care and be different and stand out and make relationships others can't, right? And so what happened? So this mentor, not dressed up like in the suit, you know, give an example, the corporate America guy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
What happens?
So he started teaching me skills.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what do you mean? I'm
Are
great
these
at
painting
skills.
skills?
Actually, no.
Okay.
He calls it TLC.
Yeah,
time
and by the way, I
management.
want to tell everybody,
Yeah.
you're in the painting space.
Mhm.
Can we tell everybody what you do real quick?
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
mean, he's a coach, but also he's in the painting space. Tell him
Yeah.
what you do real quick so
Yeah,
everybody knows.
so
And we'll go right back.
I own multiple painting contracting businesses in different states, and through that, I use my coaching program to help people that I love. So one of my partners is my best friend here in Arizona. Another partner of mine is in San Diego, and
Okay.
another one we're opening is in Florida. It's my cousin. So I got rid of those limiting beliefs too, where people are like, "Don't work with your family, don't work with your friends."
It's all crap.
Yeah, in
Hey,
fact,
listen,
it's worse.
I get it. There's some people you shouldn't work with. Okay.
Yeah,
But there's no like, it can't be this or that. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
mean, so I'm just saying, like, I get it. You know, some people have crappy families, some people have really good families.
yeah,
If you got good families, you do business with them. If you don't,
right.
you don't. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, but okay, cool. So I want to make sure everybody knew what you did,
Yep.
which is awesome. And then, so he didn't teach you the painting skills. He was teaching you skills. What are some of the skills you learned?
Yeah, he calls it TLC, so time management. That was number one. He's like, if you don't know time management, I
Time
can't help
management,
you.
huge.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the L means listening. So he's like, effective listening is the number one skill set anyone can ever learn. And I was like, what?
Dude, that's huge.
Yeah, it was the number one thing.
Yeah,
that
the
I
art
took.
of communication, guys, which obviously every one of you guys, that'll be the one thing that'll make you wealthy. You're not going to ever be able to be a great communicator without listening.
Yeah. And then number C
So
is
time, listening.
yeah, and the C was coaching. He's such a strong believer is if you're not coaching your people, doesn't matter what business you're in, doesn't matter what you're doing, you need to coach your people, period. And he's like, this is the recipe from other businesses that don't do what we do.
Mm.
And I noticed that being in the blue collar industry, right? Like a lot of blue collars don't coach.
Yeah.
They just
boss.
hire someone like, hey, just do it, handle it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it separates us big time.
Yeah. So, guys, and if you want to write this down, leadership isn't a position, it's a skill of influence.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, to have the most influence, you have to be a coach. And so, like, you don't need a position, you don't need a title, you don't need to own a company. And it's not a football coach, it's not a soccer coach.
Right.
It is someone who cares about other people, that wants to leave people better off than when they found them. And when you're around a coach, you always feel like you can do anything in the world. You feel powerful, you feel strong,
Yeah.
you feel motivated. You know, you just want to be around them longer, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so he taught you to be a coach, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And then after painting, like I had an opportunity last year where I really wasn't thinking about the painting industry at all. I was just so like, I kept telling everybody I was under a rock. I was so focused on my people, on my team and myself and learning this new business, right? That I wasn't thinking outside the box. And I got hired by a social media company, a really good friend of mine now, Lucas, which you'll know who is soon here. He hired me to be a paint coach for one of his businesses.
Oh, wow.
To give more value to his clients. And all of a sudden, everyone's just calling me like, I need this. This is what I'm looking for.
Yeah, because it's a niche no one's cracked.
100%.
Yeah.
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 You hit a good niche, bro. And by the way, overall, guys, he's a badass coach in any industry, but he found a niche. He found a hole. You know, there's a Blue Ocean strategy book. I'm sure it's a Blue Ocean. Is that what it's called? Blue Ocean?
Not sure. I haven't heard of that.
Huh? Yeah, Blue Ocean strategy.
Okay.
And bottom line is that it's like Red Ocean is what everybody else is doing. Blue is what no one else is doing. I read the book a couple years ago, and it said if you can find a blue ocean, which means no one's doing it, and find that strategy, it will explode.
Wow.
And so, you know, when I got into the automotive space, or I was an automotive guy, you know, Grant Cardone was in there. And he had been in for 10 years, but he had kind of been doing real estate now, and he kind of left it. You know what I mean? But he still had all the business. And then so I went in and I kicked him out of the automotive space in about a year.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 went through every deal. And it was kind of a blue ocean strategy. No one was in there. And the people that were in there weren't any good. And they didn't really understand it. And they were more like theory teachers, right? An applicant teacher is someone who's actually done it and they're really good. Theory teacher is like, well, if I were to do it, this is the way I would do it. Who do you want to learn from?
Yeah.
An applicant teacher. I was in it, dude.
Yeah.
I know that. I know exactly how it feels. I know what that's like in that situation. So we taught it and we blew it up. And then that niche, though, led us to worldwide coaching in every industry and many other things. But the idea of it is that I started with a little niche, just like the one you said.
Yep.
And so you got in, everybody's calling you. And then so are you speaking on stages? You're on Zoom calls and teaching? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, so I'm back-to-back calls now. And, you know, one of the biggest things is there's nothing more fulfilling than seeing these guys, like, when I was suffering too, seeing them winning immediately. Like, it's almost like within 30 days, they're like, Joel, I've already tripled my numbers. I'm like, I know.
Sure, you changed your life.
I'm like, I know, right? And it's very rewarding to be able to do that. And, you know, we're really changing. And I said that I was going to say this today is, you know, just like you said too, like, I'm going to call my spot. This is my spot today, is we're going to change the whole painting industry. You know, a lot of the older generation on the painting industry was very big on the production side of like, hey, this is how you apply these things, and nothing to knock on that, but that's not feeding their families. It's like an art for them. It's an interest. It's a skill, and I respect that. But you know, I want to teach these guys to overcome their obstacles, get rid of the limiting beliefs, and you can be a crusher in painting and provide not only for your family, but this is what changed for me. When I had a guy come to me, he's like, I make $15 an hour. And he's like, I've been with this company for 13 years. And I told him, what would it do for you if I showed you how to do 30, $40 an hour? What would that do to your life? It would change my life, he said.
Huge.
What did I do? Here's my process. This is the program, but I need you to listen. I need you to execute, and you'll do it. And he's one of my top painters right now. Same thing with all the clients I have right now. I said, hey, let's do this, right? And I want it more than them, right? Because I've been there. I feel it. I see it. I want them to know I'm right by your side. I'm not the coach that's not living it. I'm still active. I go check on job sites. I check on my people. Absolutely.
Yeah,
I lead from the front.
I was talking to you downstairs. We were talking about being emotional and too close to something. Sometimes it's hard to see what you really have or how much opportunity is still left, how much meat's still on the bone.
Yeah.
And so these guys, I'm making 15 an hour. You're like, hey, you could do 40 or 50. They're like, I don't understand. I don't get it. You're too close, right? I always ask people in a business, I say, what decisions would you make if no one would get their feelings hurt? Listen, think about your business for a minute and think about a decision that probably needs to be made. If we were to remove, okay, what would you do if you were going to be consulting you? Okay? So I'm going to put you over here and you're going to consult you. And they're looking at everyone in your company and they're like, you know, you need to make that move. But because you're too close, you're too emotionally attached. You know that if you make that move, it's going to hurt her feelings.
Yeah.
It's going to hurt his feelings. And they've been with you for 4 years and they're good people.
Yep.
That's still the move.
Yep.
That's still the move. They're one of the largest churches in the world right now is called Life Church. And Pastor Craig Rochelle, he's an amazing leader. I study like many different preachers. This guy's so good. Before they were the biggest, in the beginning, you know, everybody goes through all these mistakes. 15 years ago, he had some churches in Oklahoma and he was opening some churches in Phoenix. They have the Bible app. It's billions downloads. I mean, it's everywhere. I mean, I think like half the world's downloaded this YouVerse Bible app.
I think I have it.
Yeah, Life Church.
Yeah, and I'm like,
they
I
own
have
it.
that,
That's theirs. And they give
Wow.
me free resources, all these churches. Before they were that, he said they opened these 2 churches in Phoenix. And it was kind of like, the way he saw it, it was like, that was his baby. You know? And, you know, in the meeting, they would be like, we can't give up on our baby. You know, we can't give our kid away.
Yeah.
You know? And at the end of the day, somebody helped pull him back from the situation. And they realized is that they asked him, if you were to consult yourself, what would you tell yourself to do? Forget you or you for a minute.
Yeah.
And he said, I would shut them down. Because it was the beginning. They made mistakes like any company. Now they're massive now. Now they're killing it. But in the beginning, we all have losses.
Yeah.
And then the guy asked him, what decisions would you make if you knew no one would get hurt, no one would get their feelings hurt? I would retreat because I would use those resources to do it right this time now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like he had to ask himself. And then he asked, what would what would your successor do? What would your mentor do? I don't know who your mentor is, but let's say you're in a situation, ask yourself, remove yourself and go, if I wasn't here today, if I got died or I got fired, and my mentor replaced me, what would he do? And he said he would shut it down. Yeah. They shut it down. It hurt. He said 15 years later, it still burns a hole in his ass. It was very hard for him to do, but it was the right thing to do. And the company has grown. Now they have a lot of churches everywhere. They have 500 churches around the U.S. and they own the YouVerse Bible app, and they have the biggest online church in the world. It was just part of learning, but they had to step back and detach. In order to go up, you must remove yourself for sometimes to not be so emotional. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's hard because we're human beings and we love everybody. But a lot of the times, and I'm going to say this, but this is big, when you know there's a problem and you don't fix it, you become the problem. It's your company.
Yep.
And there's a problem inside of it. And now you're tolerating that problem. Now you become the problem. Now people are like, he's the problem. He's our leader and he turned his head to that. He didn't fix it. And then you're like, yeah, but you know her, and you're emotionally attached.
Yep.
And you literally just took that problem that you could have solved, and now people see you as the problem. It's crazy, right?
Yes.
But leadership is like, that's leadership, right? And this is what, you get coached on, and this is why you need to have a coach. Everybody needs a coach. Everybody needs to be able to see things through a different set of lenses. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And by the way, remember we said the number one mindset thing that would change your life? Guys, we're covering it, and 50 more. Change your lenses, change your life. You said you can't get a different life if you don't become a different person. In the very beginning, you said basically if like nothing changes, right?
Yeah. That's the same thing I always say every time. Like when people are looking for these secrets, it's you.
That's huge. Yeah, he said there's no special hack, no special trick. It's literally you. So basically, and it wasn't exactly how he said it, but how I heard it was, the world is a mirror. It's a mirror. It'll give you back who you become. And if you don't become the person that you need to become, it just can't give you what you're asking for because you haven't become it yet. You might even be running the right play. Maybe I reach out to you and you're like, dude, I did this thing and it worked. And you're like, dude, I'm just going to mirror the play. But then you didn't become the person that they were.
Yes.
And so the play doesn't work. And then they're mad at you for the play. But you're like, yeah, but I told you that you had to be selfless. I told you that you had to self-lead first. And you're not doing a very good job leading yourself. You're bossing everybody around. And people don't want to work for a boss anymore. Yeah. They'll work for the leader for blood, sweat, and tears, but they'll work for the boss for a paycheck.
Yeah.
And, and plus you're not innovative. You're not growing. You're not changing. You don't have a big dream. Dude, if you don't have a big dream and you're the owner, if you don't have a big dream, nobody's going to follow you.
No, not at all.
Nobody wants to follow somebody who's not inspiring. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I mean, remember because you said you're a product of your environment and you talked about proximity. I mean, dude, you said you're very careful who you put yourself around. Very careful because they could say something that could harm you or hurt you or affect you.
Absolutely.
Like, man, like all these things are so important. There's so many ways. And so I think having an audit of your life, the places you go, who you're around, who you hang out with, and
what
then
you're consuming.
And then really, yeah, you talked about like music, podcasts, different things. And then so I want to ask you, and this we'll kind of like bring it to like a close here. How do you kill off a bad mindset? How do you kill it off? Like when you made a decision to say, I'm sick of this. Okay, you probably, it gradually got better, but you probably made a decision, okay, because nothing changes till a decision is made.
Yep.
How'd you kill off that old crappy mindset? Or maybe you got a good mindset and you have good vibes, but you have limiting beliefs and you just don't think you're capable of more.
Yeah.
How do you kill that off and prep like a painter?
Yeah.
How do you prep the room to get ready to get painted?
Yeah.
Because now they're going to take this mindset and run with it. How do we teach them to prep that room?
I love it. You know, it's the same thing. I'm going to give two things to the viewers, right? And I want them to write this down, right?
Good.
It's important.
Write it down.
The biggest thing is you do you first thing in the morning. So what that means to me is I don't help anyone until I help me first.
That's good.
So the first thing is God. So I give God my time first thing in the morning.
That's great.
Then I give myself the time. So whether that's physical, right? Has to be something physical. Because if you're already getting something negative
like
in your mind,
you get moving.
have to,
You get moving, right?
you have to. It's either the gym, some jump ropes, something.
Yeah, some kind of exercise, or just get momentum. You got to
Yes.
get moving, right?
100%.
Oh, go for a freaking walk.
Yeah. But I always say personal wins. So that's why I say, like, write that down. Set yourself up for personal wins. So when we were talking about earlier, like time management, well, you got to block something in, right? So a lot of people want to start a day off and they're not actually planning their win. I plan my wins.
Yes, you're a winner before anything else happens.
Before anything else.
And you know it's true, and I'll say this. This just made me think, man, if you don't decide who you are, the world's going to tell you who you are.
Yes.
Dude, there's someone that's going to run
Yes.
into you first thing in the morning. I dare you not to do what he just said, which is put yourself first in the morning. Spend a little time getting yourself right. You know, exercising, you know, feeling good, letting those endorphins flow, oxytocin, serotonin, those chemicals, getting them going by doing a little exercise. Fine, don't do it. Just walk out your door, and the first person with the bad attitude that cuts you off in a parking lot, throws the finger up at you, guess what? You could have took care of yourself that morning. You're like, crazy people. And you just would have moved on.
Yep.
But now you're like, whoa, what's your problem, man?
Yeah.
It's like all of a sudden you're triggered because you don't know who you are. You know? You know,
give
like,
yourself the time.
yeah, that's huge, man. Okay, so that's one.
Personal wins.
Yeah, personal wins. Put yourself first. Start the day every day that way.
Yep. And I also say one thing that I say, if they want to add this too, is I say it's okay to have a bad moment, but not a bad day.
Facts.
Right? Because like we're human. You're gonna have a bad moment.
You have lots of them.
It is what it is. But if you stay in that mindset of it's a bad day, you're gonna have a bad day. It's just how it's gonna be. You just asked for it. So I always say too, the last thing I want to add to that is find someone you can call.
That's huge.
Right? Like when you're saying, hey, this is a boundary and I know that there's something wrong with me, I need to be able to call you for you to say this one thing for me.
Like somebody that you trust that knows what your goals are, who you want to become, what your standards are, knows what you have to lose if you make a mistake, right? And somebody that like, they just want the best for you. They have nothing. I think there's no money tied. It's like they genuinely give a shit about you. And I think that person is somebody who's not afraid to tell you the truth. That's important, right?
Very important.
It can't be a pushover. This has to be someone that's very direct with you and who's willing to tell you things that you don't want to hear, even if it's hurtful.
Find that person.
Yeah.
Put them on dial.
Yeah, dude, because finding someone to tell you the truth nowadays,
Yeah.
listen, I always say this. If you had food on your face, right? Would someone tell you? Dude, I was literally sitting there, we're in this conference. This lady walks up to me, right? And listen, I know it's a little weird. It's a little awkward. But, I mean, well, not for me. But, like, and I asked her, but this is how it goes. Lady walks up to me, and she's got this big piece of food right here. And I just keep staring at it. And I'm like, hey, you got something right here. Like, I'm just, like I love you. Like, you got something right here. And she's like, oh. And I'm like, and I reached over, and I wiped it off. And she's like, oh, my God, that was on my face? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, when did, and I'm like, you know, she's like, I didn't eat 3 hours ago. And I've been walking around everywhere.
Oh, my.
And I go, those people are assholes. Every person you walk by saw that food on your face and didn't have the courage to even tell you, I'm your buddy. I'm your buddy. It's not weird. If you got food on your face, I should tell you. If you got a booger hanging out of your nose, I should tell you. If you're being an asshole to your wife, I should tell you. You don't want the friend that when you call, they're like, yeah, me and my girl. You're like, dude, I told you should have left her, man. I told you, dude. You know how many other girls who would die to be with you? You want that dude to be like, dude, listen, man. Dude, she probably didn't mean it that way. It's just a miscommunication. It's a misunderstanding. Dude, you need to go home. You shouldn't have left. Turn back around, man. Go home. Okay? You guys don't go to bed angry, right? Talk it out. Let her talk. Hear her out. And when she's done, then you can finish. But listen to what she's saying. And then, dude, she'll listen to what you're saying. Dude, listen, the devil attacks what's valuable, man. He's trying to attack your relationship, bro. Don't let him do that. You're like, oh man, I needed that. Because if it would have been that other guy that had been like, dude, you know what, man? You don't deserve that, bro. You work your ass off, man. You know, you got her that new car last year. I don't know what her problem is. You know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah.
And by the way, it could be the same thing from a girl
Yeah.
calling her girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so I think that was that was actually the number one trick to all of this, is to find somebody that will be direct and tell you the truth, because all change starts with honesty and the truth.
Yep.
Yeah. And if you want to elevate, oh, this is big. Let's add this to the end, and then I'm going to let you close this out.
Yeah.
If you want to get wealthier, if you want to make more money, if you want to get in better shape, if you want to do anything, it's going to call for higher levels of accountability. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So I want to say this, like, as we finish this, like, this is an opportunity for you guys. If you need someone to plug into, if you're wanting a higher level of accountability, you guys should shoot him a text. I'm going to make sure I put his number right here on the screen. You guys can reach out to him. You know, I don't know where you've been through, how you were raised, what, you know, it's all the same. We've all been through all kinds of crazy stuff. And turn your wounds into your weapons. And by the way, get around the right people. Maybe you're like, dude, I need to be in a circle of good people. You guys can reach out to him, man.
Yep.
I love that. So I'm going to put his number here on the screen. Shoot him a text message. Introduce yourself. And one last thing you want to drive home to anybody watching this.
Yeah, I mean, purpose.
Okay.
Find your purpose. Find your purpose. And what that means is your principle-centered decisions. To find your purpose.
What drives you, right?
What drives you every day. Because, listen, it's going to be easier to stay in bed. It's going to be easy to not do the harder things, right? But when you have purpose, you don't have an option. You just get up. You just drive. You just do it.
Yeah. And, you know, and I'm going to add to that. So he says, find your purpose. And then also, like, when you don't feel like fulfilling the things that are required to fulfill your dream and your purpose, I want you to go back to think about, like, when you got kicked out.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't think you were going to become anything.
No.
He thought you were going to be a loser. Well, I always say this, prove him right or prove him wrong. Okay? And so, like, I use that shit as fuel. Like, if somebody bets against me, you know, I like it when people laugh at me.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest, like, I'm like sick in the head. Like, if you tell me I can't do it, I'm going to do it. Like, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need you to pat me on the back. I don't need you to flatter me. If I'm doing, like, flattery is like, oh, good job, man, you're doing the best. Like, I love that. Like, thank you. But, like, I don't need that. I'm really looking forward to somebody laughing at me today. Because that's the shit that gets me right in the state to go rip someone's throat out.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, in a good way, kick some ass. Okay? So, anyways, man.
I love it, man.
Love you, bro.
Thank you so much.
Much love. Make sure you guys follow him on Instagram. Shoot him a text if you need anything. You're going to see a lot of them around us. He's 39 years old. That was the year, that was how old I was when my life really changed. You know, it's weird. I made a decision when I was 39 to really start doing things differently. I went hard, like you said, became a psycho competitor, decided I want to change all these people's lives. Here I am, 44. And then he's like, man, dude, you know, I'm wanting to do what you're doing. He's 39. Everybody wake up today. Okay, it's morally the right thing to do. You're going to inspire many, many, many millions of people to change their lives because you changed yours. Yeah, you get the benefit. Your family gets the benefit. You get to break the bloodline. You know, your kids ain't going to do what, you know, you had to do.
Yeah.
But the cool thing is that you're going to change a lot of people's lives. Some you'll meet, some you won't. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So today's the day to change. Make sure you guys follow him on Instagram. Shoot him a text message. Guys, we love you. We'll see you in the next podcast.